The purpose of studying the mysteries is to unlock a direct and personal experience with one's own creative power. This is why we study the mysteries, and this is what we refer to as really a way to enhance quality of life, because our quality of life can be directly related to the amount of creative power that we are using in our everyday lives. Now, our relationship to our creative power is mediated through our awareness. The amount of awareness, the level or volume of awareness that we have of our creative power is going to directly translate to the quality of the life that we are living. Because as our awareness of our creative power increases, our ability to consciously create the life that we desire to live also increases. And this is what the mysteries are all about. When we talk about the mysteries, we are talking about the mystery of what is the phenomena that creates our experience of reality. What actually is it that creates the experience that we seem to be having as we move about through our day, through our night, through really all of our states of consciousness, through all of our various states of awareness? What is that phenomena that is creating the experience that we are having? And here in this space, as well as the mystery schools of the ancient past, we believe that it is our own consciousness that is creating our reality. It is our own consciousness and our own awareness of reality that is creating the reality that we are experiencing. And so therefore, studying the mysteries gives us access to the cause of the reality that we are experiencing, which gives us access to choose a different sort of reality to experience, a reality that perhaps we desire to experience. And this is the mystery. This is why we study the mysteries, to learn how to activate extraordinary creative power in our experience. In the last episode of Sunday Mystery School, we talked about extraordinary use of creative power as being one of the definitions for genius. One of the definitions for the word genius is an extraordinary use of creative power. An extraordinary use. Well, an extraordinary use of creative power would also be an intentional use of creative power. And we can use our creative power with intention when we begin to understand how that creative power works. That's what this space is all about. This space is all about learning how our creative power works so that we can become very proficient operators of that creative power. Neville refers to each and every one of us as being the operant power of our reality, the operant power. Specifically, it is our consciousness that is the operant power. It is our awareness of being that is the operant power of our reality, meaning that we would not be experiencing any reality at all if we were not aware of being. It is the awareness of being that is the key that enters and unlocks the door of having an experience of reality. So as our awareness increases, our ability to consciously and intentionally use our creative power increases. And as our ability to consciously use our creative power increases, we have the ability to unlock an extraordinary amount of potential for our lives, which you could even call genius. So really, the purpose of studying the mysteries is to unlock this creative power, to unlock this genius and use it to enhance our quality of life. And we are not alone in this. This is actually what many of the most notable figures in history have done. Those who, when we look back in history and we see the people who really made these very tremendous, notable, long-standing, they passed the test of time, accomplishments or contributions to collective humanity, many of them were trained in the mysteries. They actively studied, how do I unlock an extraordinary use of creative power? How do I unlock my own genius? And then how do I use that to advance the collective experience of humanity? Now, we are living in a very dynamic time. In the liquid modernity of now, there are a lot of things that are changing. And because that which is on the outside mirrors what is on the inside, we are experiencing change both in so-called external reality, but it is driven by the change that we are experiencing in internal reality. So as we are unlocking our creative powers, we are unlocking an extraordinary use of creative power, as we are unlocking our genius, we're also noticing circumstances in the external world changing as well. And we are moving into an era where those who are able to apply their genius are going to excel. They are going to really experience and live a very empowered life. And those who do not really invest the time to really understand the mysteries, understand what it is that creates reality, are going to experience challenges, because this is a time in our broader human society that requires all of us to rise to the moment. And part of rising to the moment is unlocking our genius. It is necessary for us to reach and really begin to embody and live into this next era of humankind. We must unlock our creative power. We must begin to really embrace an extraordinary use of our creative power and really begin to embrace our genius, particularly the genius that is uniquely human. This really is a unique thing for human beings, the ability to use imagination to create reality. You will not find a synthetic being that can do this. This is really a human trait. This is a human characteristic to really be the operant power of consciousness in this way. It is uniquely human. And we're entering an era where we really need to lean into and embrace the qualities of being that are uniquely human, and to celebrate them and to venerate them. I can't think of a better way to celebrate and venerate what it means to be human than to actively develop our creative power, to actively develop and embrace our genius. And that's exactly what we're doing week after week here in this space of Sunday Mystery School. Sunday Mystery School is a way to study the mysteries, to really engage with our genius in a fresh and unique way, inspired by the teachings of the famous mystic Neville Goddard. That's really the goal here. It's to take these ideas out of the realm of the merely theoretical or the merely intellectual and really make them practical. And so we do that both in the way that we talk about the ideas, we explore them together to do that. But really, that's how we do it socially. But really, there's also an individual aspect to making these teachings practical. And that individual aspect is the homework that we have every single week. And that homework is very, very straightforward. It is to practice what you learn in these spaces, to practice going into the silence and being educated from the truth, the one primary source of truth that can really only be found in the silence, to go into the silence and to learn from that source of truth. And then also to practice using your imagination to create your desired state of being. Okay, so to imagine that you are the person that you desire to be, that you are living the life that you desire to be living, and to really fill your being, fill your cup, fill your imagination, fill your state, fill your mind, your heart, your emotional body, your spiritual body, to fill all of these things with the feeling of being the person that you desire to be. This is a powerful practice. This idea of filling ourselves up with the qualities of being the person that we desire to be. And it is through doing this that we begin to make that state of being of the ideal, right? The ideal person that we desire to be while we are embodied physically in a human body of flesh, while we are living a human life on a planet Earth. really, we have the opportunity to really align with the ideal. So we're aware of, hey, I would like to be this person. How do I become this person? Well, I begin to imagine that I am this person. And over time, as I do it consistently, I start to become that person because I'm constantly filling my imagination with the qualities of being associated with that ideal state. And over time, that state becomes more and more natural. We begin to feel and know that we actually are the person that we desire to be. And in any initial gap that there was at first, perhaps there's a certain quality of character that you would like to have because you feel like in the past you have not properly expressed it. Maybe the question is one of authenticity. Be like, oh, sometimes I pretend to be somebody that I'm not just to gain the approval of others. And maybe that's not a quality that I really want to embody going forward in my life. So let me begin to imagine that I am truly authentic to the nature of my own being, and that I don't change for anyone. I am very authentic and integral and faithful to myself in that way. So the more that you fill your heart, your mind, your experience, your awareness with this feeling of authenticity, the more natural it'll begin to feel, the more natural it'll become for you to be that ideal state. And over time, as you align with this state, as it becomes natural for you, you'll begin to naturally express these qualities of character. And you will see that your whole world will begin to respond to you differently because you are acting different, you are being different, you are thinking different, your habits and patterns of thoughts and behaviors are different. And so therefore, the entire world is now changing because the world is reflecting back to you your state of being. So as your state of being changes, the world changes. Your relationships change. Your circumstances change. The opportunities that arrive for you to engage with, right? The invitations that arrive for you also change. And this is the mystery, right? And this is what we call the mysteries, this idea of how when we change, the world changes, and how there really is the opportunity to pilot those changes on purpose, intentionally, so that we can change the world intentionally, right? So this is the mysteries, and this is exactly what we gather in this space to study and develop and become better at week after week after week.